Hi everyone, good evening. Come to sitting and take yourself to the long edge of your mat. Sit on something if you need to. Sit however's comfortable. Close your eyes and just start rolling your shoulders backwards. And see if you can feel the shoulder blades moving across your back. Feel the movement through your upper back, your chest a little as well. So the shoulders rolling kind of carries a little bit of movement through the whole of the upper torso. Then inhale, shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, drop. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, drop. Again, inhale, shrug. Exhale, drop. Then sit a little taller through the crown of your head, keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed down. Still with your eyes closed, watch the breath flow through your nose. Watch the breath flow into both nostrils. And out. So you're not watching with your real eyes, you're watching with your attention. Feel the breath moving into your chest, expanding your rib cage. And again, nice, smooth, steady breath. Just inviting your attention in. And then let your eyes open. Place your hands onto the floor behind and step your feet in front of you. Just let your knees move a couple of times each way. Feel how you roll onto the outer hip, outer buttock. And as your right shin comes across, so your right shin in front of you, bring your right hand round and place it on top of the left hand behind you. And just feel a little twist here. Keeping your arms straight as you turn away from the legs. Twisting a little through the belly, keeping the shoulders pressing down and the chest lifting upwards. And then undo that hand, place both hands behind, and as you come through centre, just lift your bottom off the floor. Lower down onto the other bum cheek and swing your shins round. So you've got now the other leg in front, left shin in front, and turn away from the legs. Feel a gentle squeezing in at the belly. Gazing round behind, but keeping your gaze nice and steady so not to get too thoughtful with your gaze. Just a nice neutral point. Come back to centre, hands behind. As your feet go flat to the floor, lift your bottom again. Lower onto your first bum cheek, the first side we went to, dropping your shins down. And this time place a hand in front of your shin, either end. So one in front of your foot and one in front of your knee. And let your back hip just gently roll forwards a little. You can either stay there on straighter arms or lower your forearms down to the floor. So now your elbows are at the top and bottom end of that shin. And sink a bit deeper into the hip crease. Look somewhere between your forearms. So we've got our left shin in front. So lift your right arm, so you're just on your left shin, and then stack your left shin or your left leg underneath your right leg. So you're lying on your side. You can put something under your head if you want to, and have your legs together, arms out in front. And we're just going to open and close this arm. So your arm swings wide open, turn your head and your chest, and then close the arm back over so your hands come back together. Do that 4 more times and breathe through your nose again. Follow the breath in from your nose into your chest. So when you open your arm, there's a nice stretch across your chest. Straight arm if you can, 2 more. Good, and then straighten your bottom leg out. Your top knee rests closer to the floor and open your arm again. Turn your chest a bit wider as your arm opens out behind. It might rest on the floor, it might not. And if the bent knee comes off the ground a little, that's fine. Arms are open toward the ceiling like you're inviting the sky to come and enjoy a big hug in your arms. Nice wide space from your centre of your chest out through to your fingertips. Maybe a little bit of gratitude for the blue sky we've received this today. And then the open arm closes all the way back round. And prop your head onto your hand. Bend the bottom leg a little bit and hug the top knee in towards your chest. And then we're just going to take it a little bit like happy baby on our side, just a half happy baby. So your hand's going to come in front of your shin, catch hold of the outside edge of your foot and bring your knee behind your arm. You can stay like that or start to straighten your leg up the best you can. The straight leg option isn't essential. You could stay in the happy baby option and just see if your hip can push higher up towards your foot. So instead of your hip sinking back like that, your hip is trying to press up and encouraging the leg to reach out higher. Your hand on the foot might draw the leg up and back a little more. Let your knee bend if it isn't already. And then leg comes down so it's at the same height as your hip. Catch hold of your foot, stretch the front of your thigh. If you struggle to get hold of your foot, instead you can have the leg straight and just take it out behind. And then your legs come together, push back up, separate your feet, lift your bottom a fraction off the ground, lower down onto your other bum cheek. So now we've got the right shin that we're turning towards. And you lower down onto your forearms, if you can, straight arms if not. Folding in deeper into the right hip crease. As you make your way up, take the right shin underneath your left. Lie down on your side so your shins are on the edge of your mat. Arms in front. And then again, we just open the arm, let your head and chest turn. And close your arm, hands come back together again. Straight arm if you can as it swings wide open, inhale. And as it closes, shut, exhale. 3. Remembering to let your head and your chest follow the arm. 2 more. See how best you can keep the knees and the hips facing forwards so that your legs don't open with you. Stay open on this last... Oh, sorry, no, we're not staying open on this last one yet. Keep on going. Last one. And then when your arms are closed, we'll just straighten the bottom leg out on its own. Bring your top knee toward the floor and then do 1 more of those openings. And again, if the knee lifts a little, it's fine. You might shuffle your chest a little so you can get wider open. Feel your top ribs, so in this instance it'll be your left ribs, following your open arm. So my left ribs following out my left arm. And then your arm comes all the way back round. Bend the bottom leg a little and prop your head on your hands. Bring your top knee up and take the happy baby grip, so you're taking hold around the foot. If you can't do that, then just hug the leg in. And if you can manage to get the foot with your arm on the inside of the leg, so your hand goes in front of the ankle, then you can start to try straightening your leg, whatever amount you can, Once your leg starts to get straighter, push your hip upwards toward the sole of your foot. Relax your shoulder away from your ear, but ease the leg back. And bend the leg again. As the leg comes down, it comes to hip level. Your foot comes back, see if you can catch hold of your foot, press the thigh bone back, and again, if not, just a straight leg swings out behind. Just taking our cue from spring as we move, kind of seeing if we can invite in some openness, some awakening in our body, bringing more light into our body, lightness. Release that leg, push your way back up, and again separate your feet. This time with your feet apart, lift your bottom and walk your bottom towards your heels and end up in a squat position. So it might be that you didn't manage to get into it from behind, just to tip forwards, so come round into that from whichever angle you can and bring your hands together in a prayer position in your squat. If your heels get to the ground, great, and if they don't, then that's great as well. You take them as low as you can. Let's just have the legs straight, so have your feet pointing forwards. Hang forwards over your legs, and let's cradle the elbows in your hands. And while you're hanging forwards here, can you just turn around on the spot so that now you're in line with the short end of your mat. You're in the usual way we would be on the mat, and drop down to hands and knees. Cat-cow your spine. With an inhale, your head and your bottom point up. And with an exhale, round your spine, look under. Let's go again like that. Inhale. Exhale. This time, inhale, dip the spine. Keep the dip in your spine as your arms walk out in front. Happy baby. Puppy dog. I knew there was something young about it. It's not a happy baby, it's a happy puppy dog. Melt your chest toward the ground, so the back of your chest feels like it's sinking down into the softening of your front chest. Tailbone a little pointier, pointing it up toward the sky. And then we're coming forwards onto our forearms, so you can maybe bring your hands in a little closer so you can plant your forearms to the floor, lower your hips down, lift your chest. So now the lower back is a little bit longer and your chest is getting the more of the lift and opening. As your lower ribs touch down to the ground, swoop your arms down by your side, turn your palms toward the ceiling, roll your shoulders back and stretch your legs longer along the mat. Can you hug your waistline in, keep the waist in and float your legs off the floor? See if you can think about floating your thigh bones up so your thighs carry your lower legs up. Continue to narrow in through your waist and see if you can just squeeze up a little through the pelvic floor muscles for another breath. Hands come to the floor, legs come to the floor, push back, child's pose. In child's pose, let your arms slide down by your side, palms to the sky again, and relax your shoulders. Come up to a high kneeling position, step your right foot forwards, lunge forwards into this knee, bring your fingers onto the front bones of your pelvis and see if you can tilt them upright. Rotate your pelvis so those front bones come up a little higher. maybe lunge a little deeper. Arms out in front, and on an inhale open your arms wide, and on your exhale wrap the left arm underneath your right arm on top, and bring your fingers all the way around behind your shoulders, or as far around your shoulders as you can, as if you're giving yourself a nice big hug. Lunge a little deeper and lift the elbows, lift your chest slightly, supporting your back as you hold on. Release your hands back down to the floor, lift your back knee off the ground and come up into a high lunge. Find those two bony front points again. Your back knee can bend a little if you need to as you get those two bony points to lift up, and then perhaps the back leg can push out again. Take both arms out in front, your right knee is bent. Open your right arm slowly out behind, turning into a twist to the right. And keep the press out through the back heel and try and bring your left ribs forwards more, round more into the twist, like your left ribs are trying to follow that left arm further out in front and your right ribs are trying to follow your back arm further round behind. Bring your right arm back round in front again, wrap your right arm on top of your left arm, cross them over, and you either bring your hands back to your shoulders or wrap your forearms into eagle arms. Take a step forwards with your left foot, toes touch the ground. You're flat on your right foot, you're on the ball of the left foot. Bend both knees and slide down a little as if you're just trying to make yourself shorter, less height, but you're still upright. You can stay there or lift the left leg and try crossing your left thigh over your right thigh, and maybe your left toes can even wrap around the back of the right leg. Elbows up, chest up, gazing forwards or through your arms. Undo your legs, undo your arms and interlace your hands behind you. Open up your chest and draw your knuckles slightly back. And then bend your knees, keep your arms on your back as your knees bend. Lower your tummy and chest towards your thighs, and then let your arms come up a little further as the legs might straighten out a bit more. See if you can draw the heels of your hands a little narrower. Release your hands down to the floor and walk your feet back so you're in a downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the ground, cat-cow as you inhale, tailbone and head point up. As you exhale, round the spine. Inhale up. And then walk your hands forwards again into puppy dog, lowering your chest toward the floor. Tailbone continues to point upwards, chest sinks down. Think of it like a steep slope in your spine. A long slide down from your tailbone all the way down the curve of your spine to your head. Forearms stay on the ground as you slide through, lift into Sphinx position. Initially in Sphinx, you're pressing up, the ribs are off the floor, shoulders are pressing down. And then just your bottom ribs going down to touch the floor, keep the chest lifted and bring your arms down by your side, palms face up, shoulders continue to roll back. Firm your belly, stretch the legs longer, an option to lift the thigh bones, locust pose. Lift the inner thighs a little more, relax your little toes downwards. One more breath. And lower, hands to the floor, push back through child's pose. And slide your arms down by your side, relax. Slowly rolling up to a high kneeling position once more. Left foot steps forwards. Fingers to the bony points. Lunge. Stop a little short of your deepest point and get those pelvic bones to tilt upwards, and then go in a little deeper and try and have that effort of keeping them upwards. We're going to hug the right arm under this time, right arm underneath, left arm on top, fingers trying to claw their way around. When you've got a nice deep hug, you really feel like it's infused with feeling. Experience it not just as your arms wrapped around, but the feeling of an embrace. If we're hugging someone, then usually it's got a nice feeling with it. So hug and give yourself a little love. Release your arms, fingers to the floor, lift your back knee and come up to a high lunge. Little bend in the back knee initially, tilt the pelvis upright and then press the back heel out. Both arms come in front of you. Okay, so we want to keep the hips facing forwards as the left arm opens into a twist. You turn your upper body but the lower body stays as it is. A bit like the twist when we did lying on the floor. You're trying to open your arm without turning the legs. Keep your hips facing forwards. Feel your right ribs trying to reach further forwards with the right arm, left ribs turning further round with the left arm. Well done. And then bring your arm back round in front again. Now we're taking the right arm on top of the, right arm underneath the left arm, sorry, right arm under, left arm on top. And you can make eagle arms. If not, just keep your hands on your shoulders. Stepping your right foot forward so the toes land next to your left foot. Find your balance in your left leg. And then bend the knees and just become about as tall as you were when you were, let's go for about 15 years old. Drop down a little. If you can, cross that top leg over. Toes might hook around. And then unravel both feet to the floor and release your arms. Interlace your hands behind your back. Interlace your less dominant way. Stretch the arms back, knuckles draw down slightly. Bend in your legs, keep your arms stuck to your back as your legs bend. And then fold your body down onto your legs. Let your arms continue up and over, look through the gap of your legs. Remember to keep your gaze really softly infused with no big thoughts pulling your attention. Often in yoga we call it the drishti, and that's our gaze point. If our gaze point ends up being like darting around everywhere, then it's a sign that our mind is jumping about and we're kind of losing focus. Keep your gaze steady and it'll really help to keep the mind's attention steady. Bring your fingers down to the floor, walk your hands back, legs back, to downward facing dog. This time we're going to try a plank position, so step your feet back a couple more inches and then bring your shoulders forwards level over your wrists. Push out through your heels, hug into your belly, and the same as you were doing when you were in locust pose, try and narrow around through your waist, pull up through the pelvic floor. Keep that feeling of strength as your elbows bend and go down for 3, keep going down slowly for 2, keep going down slowly for 1, and then land. Lift your chest a little away from the floor, float your arms by your side and see if you can bend and catch hold of both feet. Kick your feet back into your hands, lift your chest and then float the thigh bones off the ground, and if not, just repeat locust pose. 2 more breaths. Toes can point toward the ceiling, shins press back. 1 more breath. Inhale, and then when you exhale, release that down. Sit to child's pose. We're going to keep the arms stretched in front this time and hold it a little bit longer. 1 minute with your arms straight out in front. You can soften the elbows if you like. Feel your breath rise and fall in the back of your chest. Start relaxing your effort. And we're going to move this over to the side, so chest on your right thigh, arms just off the right side of the mat. You can rest your head on your right forearm if you like, as the left arm gets the reach across. Let's try and turn the left armpit and left shoulder toward the ground to try and keep the back of the chest more level. And then go across the other way, chest onto the left thigh. Reach your right arm across. Press slightly into your right palm to help turn your right armpit closer to the ground. And then back to centre. Make your way up and onto your back. And it might be nice to have something under your head for this. You don't necessarily need a block or a bolster, but feel free to use them as support if you want to. And then when you come down, feet wide. And with your feet wide, drop your right knee in. So I'll show you from that angle, feet wide, right knee turns in, you're turning onto the outside edge of your right foot, and the left knee just stays pointing up. The right thigh bone is rotated inwards. The right buttock might be just slightly lifted off the ground as well, that's fine. But you're not trying to turn your pelvis, just try and relax your right hip. Go more into the rotation by wriggling your foot a bit further up and outwards, trying to turn so that your inner right ankle gets closer and closer to the floor. If you've got any knee issues with this and it pulls in your knee, you can put a block underneath your inner thigh or inner knee to support it. Just relax there. Where your hands go is up to you, but I quite like my hands to rest on my tummy with this one. It's also a great pose, as well as untangling your leg, your outer hip, your inner hip, the glutes, and it goes into the psoas, and then that goes into your abdomen, and then that starts to release tension in your digestive tract. And it's a great one for releasing tension in this whole pelvic area that's quite hard to get to. especially because we don't do this internal rotation much. So often the internal rotation gets a little bit more stuck. So as we start to unstick all the stuff that's got stuck, then spaces that have been a bit blocked inside can get a nice release. So you might notice your stomach starts gurgling. And then carefully start to pull your right hip down toward the ground. Wriggle your foot back in a little. And then just rest with your knees resting on each other. I like to just lift my tailbone slightly and reposition it so it feels really central and long. Just take a few moments to let that side settle. The other side, so your left foot stays wide, drop your left knee in and wriggle the foot so you can get more and more onto the inner ankle bone and relax the hip. And then guide that leg back up. Reposition your foot, little lift through the tailbone. Relax a couple of moments, a couple of breaths. And then let's just bring the legs into a double happy baby pose as both legs come in. You can hold around the back or in front of the shins. And maybe play around with just one leg straightening out a little bit more. Just kind of do it in a few little small movements so you're not forcing it too rigidly too quickly. And then that leg bends and then the other one just pushing out, just finding its way so you're not forcing it in an area where it's not comfortable. And then perhaps you can get both legs to stretch out, reach out. Even if you're just holding the ankles, stretch your bottom down, your legs straight. All straightish. And then lower your feet down. You can rest again with a knock-kneed position, but it might be nice now just to let legs straighten out, seeing as we've been in that bent position a while. And get comfortable and warm. And relax your arms now, palms up to the sky. Shoulders relax to the earth. Hips relax to the earth. Feeling the earth. Letting your tension, your worries, any stresses or strains in your life at the moment, kind of giving them down, like that heaviness you might be holding can drop heavily down into the earth. And feel the nurturing, caring Mother Earth taking on that energy and in her power transforming it so that you feel there's an upward rising of energy back into you. That's replenished, that feels lighter, that feels more positive. So exhaling to give it away, to drop it away. And then inhaling to receive and to feel lighter and more open. Our yoga practice really helping us to have avenues through which we can take those less favourable feelings, emotions, and have an avenue through which, or a portal through which we can take them to transform and experience the lighter side rather than the darker side. Another inhale there. Exhale it all out. A little wriggle of your body. Slide your feet in flat. Tilt the pelvis back and forwards a few times, releasing the back of the pelvis, your sacrum, your lumbar. And then shift over onto one hip so you can roll onto your side. And all the way up to sitting. Reach tall through the crown of your head. Relax the shoulders down, just like you did when you dropped them at the beginning. Let's all join our palms together in a prayer, knowing that we're practicing together, we're joining our palms together, we're bringing our thumbs all at once to our chest. And when we bow our head to our chest, we're not only bowing to the goodness within us, but also bowing to those that we've practiced with this evening. When we say namaste, we're saying namaste to one another, even though we might find ourselves in a different space, maybe even in a different time if you're watching the recording. But the good in me, the light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you all for joining this evening. See you next week for Yin.